About 30 years ago, around 1990, I'm in the midst of an ethical dilemma. Am I a good Samaritan or a chicken thief? I'm working for a packaging company at the time, and I'm visiting a customer of mine in New Holland, Pennsylvania, that's a poultry processor. And as I'm going into the plant, and this poultry plant, it's a gruesome place. They take chickens and they make them into cut-up fryer parts. You know, they come out legs and thighs and breasts and wings, and some of them become chicken nuggets and pot pies. But I go in there, we put a packaging machine in there, and I came out, I saw it, did my thing there, and was coming back out of the building and heading out to the back parking lot. And inside the wall of, going out the back door, there was a payphone. Now, some of you who aren't from the payphone era, those are these antiquated communication devices we used to use before cell phones, but after smoke signals. And they, payphone, in fact, if you don't know payphones, there's actually an online museum you can look at, and it has photos of payphones and phone booths and other dinosaurs like that. So I come out, I see the payphone, and I decide to use it to call back to the office. And I'm on the phone talking to him. I'm looking out this glass door that goes back out to the parking lot, and I see huddled down in a little corner between the wall of the building and a big trash barrel is a chicken, an escapee. And I'm talking to the office on the phone, and this chicken is looking up at me with these big, sad chicken eyes, and it's shaking, and it's like sending me a message like, please get me out of here. And I don't know, from time to time, I look back at it, and the chicken just keeps me in radar lock. Like, you're my last chance. Please help me. And as I'm watching, my heart's kind of melting for this little chicken. And so as I finish my call, I decide I got to help this guy out. So I hang up the phone, and I go out to the parking lot to my car, which is only 10 feet beyond where the chicken is. And I'm looking around the whole time to see if anybody's looking or what's happening here. And I put my briefcase in the back seat of the car. And then I come back. When I realize the coast is clear, I come back and I scooch down, I get the chicken. And I pick him up by, one each wing. So I'm holding him like a basketball. And the chicken is like, all of a sudden he starts kicking his feet or his drumsticks or pecking at me with its beak. But it's not like he's trying to get away. It's like he's trying to hold on. I think he realizes that, I'm his way out of there, and that I think he's actually trying to help me to help him escape. Like, it's the last chance to either go with me or get sent to Colonel Sanders. So I take the chicken, and I take him over to my car, and I open the back seat of the car. Well, I can't open the back door of the car because my hands are full of chicken. So I pull him up against me, and then I open the back door, and I put him down on the floor mat. And he settles down right away, like he's happy, like he feels safe there. And I kind of feel like a mother hen all of a sudden. So I go back to get into my car door, and I look at myself, and I'm all full of like chicken feathers and a little bit of chicken spit, or something I hope is just chicken spit. And I try to clean myself off, and I get in the front seat, and I'm really feeling good. And I back out, and I'm kind of feeling like Robin Hood, And I got Friar Cluck in the back seat. And we back out of the parking lot, and we start heading down the things. And I'm really feeling great. I mean, like, I'm not a chicken thief. I'm a good Samaritan. I'm doing a good deed. I'm saving a life. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself as I'm driving away out this back parking lot. But as soon as I get around the corner, I see something that terrifies me. When I came in, I drove past a completely empty guard shack. Now, as I'm going back out, there's a security guard in it. And he's got a clipboard, and he's talking to a car that's leaving right now. And I'm terrified. I don't know, what am I going to do? So and as I'm having these terrible thoughts, I go by this big sign on the right side that says do not remove company property without authorization. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get fired. I'm worried. I'm sweating. And then I look over on the left side. There's all vehicles subject to search. And I'm thinking, I'm terrified now. Like I'm going to get fired, and I'm going to go to jail. And so I think, you know what? I panic and I just chicken out. I decide I'm going to take this chicken back into the parking lot and I'm going to let it loose, and but it's on its own. I just got to do that. So I look in my rear view mirror and I back up. I want to back up, and I look in my rear, see the coast clear, and now there's this big semi truck right behind me that just delivered chickens, and it's a long single lane driveway out of the plant. I can't back up. I have to go forward. And so now by this point, I'm only about 20 yards away from the security guard, and I'm thinking, like, my life is over. I just picture myself in a few seconds, like, face down on the hood of my car with handcuffs on, and like, my life is over. And I got to do something. You know, I got a mortgage to pay and kids to feed and a future to think of. I can't go to jail. So now as I've crept forward, I'm just like a few feet in front of the guard, and I think, you know what? I'm going to confess. I'm going to say I found the chicken in the parking lot, which is true, and I decided to put him in the car so he wouldn't get run over by a truck, and I brought him up to you. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I drive up to the security guard, and he's looking at me through the windshield, and I pull to where I'm just about in front of him, and I'm feeling like this is my last chance too, me or the chicken. And as I do that, he's the security guard looks in the windshield at me, and then he just waves at me and says, a big smile, "Go on." And I'm like, and I stall right by him because I've already decided to confess. I don't know what to do. So I start to roll my window down, and he just shows me another smile and says, "Go on, you're good." And he walks right past me to the truck behind me. And because I guess he figured that maybe that truck was his friend, or maybe just had bigger fowl to fry back there. I don't know. But anyway, so I feel like now that I've been cleared to move the company property from the premises. And it's like the spirit of the company is telling me, go in peace, take the chicken with our compliments, and just leave. So as I drive out, I'm thinking that, like, wow, I've sprung this chicken, and I am a good Samaritan, not a chicken thief, and both the chicken and I will live to have another last chance.